The boys are back. You know what that means? That means it's time to chat Celts as we chat tonight about a thrilling Game 1 victory. This is fun to say. I haven't said this since 2000 and, well, I guess we've said it a few times. I'm already screwing up the open. Of the NBA Finals. How awesome of a game that was tonight for the Celtics. We see the return of Kristaps Porzingis, and he was money. Money.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome in, everybody. We are here to chat about it. I am Nick. We have Pat and Brendan. We're all with the green, white, green, whatever you want to say, all with our lucky green on here this evening to talk about a fantastic Game 1 here tonight, where the Celtics took care of business with a 107-89 pantsing of the Dallas Mavericks. And Kyrie Irving, of course, too. We want to talk about that story, too. Make them cry. Guys, how are we feeling after Game 1 here tonight?
Oh, the green is running through the veins right now. We're bleeding it. Celtics, at this point, being a Celtics fan for the past God knows how long, I'm always worried because it's the Celtics. But God damn it! Pardon my language.
It's okay. We're hyped up here tonight.
I'm hyped up. I'm excited. The Celtics blew out the Mavericks in extravagant fashion. Was the score showing that? Not particularly. But if you watched the game, we were up that entire game. We never blew our big lead.
Close on one point. At one point, I was getting a little nervous. I'm going to be honest with you.
We were nervous, but we didn't
8-point difference at one point in the third.
We didn't blow it. So I'm excited. Brennan, how you feeling?
Look, the NBA Finals is a completely different sport compared to the playoffs and the regular season. All right, when you get to the finals, it is reffed completely differently. It is played completely differently, and the pace is on a different level. All right, the defensive intensity out of the Boston Celtics to hold the Mavericks under 90, was it? Definitely
89.
Under 90. Yeah.
Under 90 with two guys.
The best backcourt in basketball.
Which everyone was trying to tell you. The hype around the Dallas Mavericks, then they come into Boston, lay a complete egg. The intensity out of Holiday, out of Tatum, out of Brown, out of White was phenomenal. Porzingis as well was great offensively, but I'm looking at the defense. It was incredible. Out of a coach that could only teach offense, apparently, according to some sources. They looked great. They were phenomenal. And then the intensity on the rebounds. I think that was where the Celtics won the game. Was they outboarded the Mavs all game. Yep. Defensive boards, offensive boards, they dominate on the rebounds, and they got second chance baskets. It's underrated. It's how they won this game. They dominate on the boards.
And can I point out something real quick? This is totally different from when we played Golden State, what was it, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
This team looks like a different team from when we played them.
Well, there's a big reason why, Pat, and Brendan as well. You don't have the Marcus Smart, I'm God, give me the ball, I'm the star of the show mentality here anymore. You got believers. You've got guys that are passionate. Look at Al Horford, for example. They asked him after the series win that they were just in. It was, what do you want? How hungry are you? And Al Horford goes, I'm starving. I'm starving for that championship. It doesn't just speak to Al right there as being the veteran guy who's logged the most playoff games and minutes out of everybody right there and still doesn't have a championship to speak for. It goes for Derek White. It goes for Jason Tatum. It goes for Jaylen Brown. It goes for Kristaps Porzingis. I want to talk a lot about right now that the Kristaps Porzingis effect.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
We didn't really know what to think when he went down. We did not know. We thought that could be it. Some people thought they would be screwed. But the Celtics ended up going in this playoff run now, I believe it's 14-2. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
They've lost 2 games in the whole playoff.
That's where they're at in this playoff run right now. It's pure dominance. I mean, right now it's 8. They've won 8 in a row.
Yeah.
And they did that for the most part without their big guy, who they brought in this past offseason to be that difference on the rebounding end, the defensive end, and that flashy shooting and scoring that he did tonight. But here's a guy that hadn't played in 40-something days, 42 days, something like that.
About 3 rounds of
Who
playoffs.
also came out
Didn't
and
miss a
said,
beat.
I don't know if I'm going to be 100%.
Didn't miss a beat.
I think that was jokes, though.
Was it?
I think it was gamesmanship. I think so.
I think that his impact here tonight for this game screwed the Mavericks because they did not have an answer whatsoever for Porzingis. He was shooting, things were flying. He was swatting those balls out of the air like pure poetry in motion. It was beautiful to see that. And that is why Brad Stevens got Drew Holiday this offseason and Kristaps Porzingis. What you're seeing here right now, folks, is winning culture. They're 3 games away from it. And if they do achieve it, you better damn well send your thank you cards to the executive of the year, Brad Stevens, for putting this all together. Because I don't think he gets enough credit for a guy that, I'll be honest with you guys, I thought it was laughable when he was removed as the coach, when Udoka came in and everything else was just a mash unit. The guy's a better executive than a basketball coach. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think that we take it for granted because everything he has touched right now turns to gold.
I mean,
and it's outstanding to see. Take it away.
Absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head once again. I mean, the moves he's made not only have been the right moves, but they've been bold moves. I mean, trading Marcus Smart for essentially Kristaps Porzingis, you got rid of a guy who has done nothing. So you essentially traded Marcus Smart for Kristaps Porzingis, matching salaries. That's not something any executive is willing to do.
Yep.
The reason why Brad Stevens has the trust of the organization is because he was the coach. He knows what this team needs. He knows the players. He knows what it takes to win a championship because he's been close. He's never won a championship, and we still haven't won a championship yet. Anything can happen. We've seen it in history. Game 1 means nothing. It's exciting.
70%, though, of the teams that win in game 1 win the championship. Just saying.
So it means something, but still, it's just game 1. I'm not ready to say the Celtics are going to win the championship based off this game because of the Celtics. They do this stuff sometimes, and every now and then they blow leads. But at the same time, it's a different team. When we were playing Golden State, we were up a couple games to Golden State.
2-1.
And everyone was
in the lead in the third quarter.
And everyone was looking at that game going, Celtics are winning this championship, no doubt. And then all of a sudden, Steph Curry does his thing, everyone else does their thing, and we lose that championship. This team seems totally different. This team seems like they're confident. You have Drew Holiday, who's done it. And I mentioned this in previous post games. Drew Holiday led that Milwaukee Bucks team, and he will and has the ability to lead this team to another championship.
I echo that statement wholeheartedly.
Marcus Smart never had that experience, unfortunately. I would love to say Marcus Smart is on this team. I'm a number 1 Marcus Smart guy. Still am, always will be. But Drew Holiday, Derek White, better combination than having Marcus Smart. That's a fact. I don't think anyone can disagree with that.
It's not debatable.
And if you want to disagree with that, please tell us in the comments. That's great. you're wrong, but please tell us in the
Yeah,
comments.
we love to hear what you have to say. We are right all the time, but if you have something that you do want to say and you want to chime in, by all means, we always delete those comments right away.
We won't delete them.
No, we won't.
We'll just ignore them. No, we won't ignore them either. We will debate them.
Did you have something you wanted to add in, Brendan?
What Coach G's take coming to Brad Stevens, the ability to put all your chips forward, to expect the backlash, to move on from the heart and soul of the team, to bring in Kristaps Porzingis, who has been a perennial choker in the playoffs. He has had injuries every single year. He couldn't deal with Luka. He couldn't deal in New York. He couldn't deal in Washington. To bring him into Boston, the level of boldness to make that move, to bring him in, because that's what it takes to win the banner. Brad Stevens is on a different level. Right now is the greatest general manager in Boston since prime Belichick. He is on another level.
I wasn't even going to go there. I was going to ask you guys that if this effect all goes into play and they do win this, you know what this is going to resemble a little bit? And I hate comparisons. You know how I go with the whole thing with some of these Red Sox, and I hate it. I'm going to be reminded a lot of 2004 when Theo Epstein put that winning team together for the Red Sox. That is what this is going to remind me of a lot. And that's why I'm buying in. I've bought in. I've been following. I'll be honest with you. I've always been a baseball guy. I was having dinner with some of the guys. Brendan knows most of our team in here. And I said, I can't stand baseball anymore. I can't stand it right now. I hate the way the game's changed. And right now, the enjoyment for me comes from watching a team effect like the Celtics do things that involve everybody contributing, buying into a system, and being well-liked. I think that's what is getting me into, or has got me into, liking this team quite a bit. The next thing I wanted to mention, speaking of team, TEAM. Did you guys see the box score from this evening by chance?
We did look at it. Yes,
sir.
What I love about this box score is that there is zero I in team on any of these numbers here tonight. It is so balanced with contributions from even your bench guys. You even got Sam Hauser contributions here tonight with 8 points. Your high scorer was Jaylen Brown with only 22 points. But because you have so much depth on your team with trust and ability, you were able to have Porzingis knocking in 20. You had Tatum chipping in 16. You had Derek White with 15. Holiday had 12. Al Horford with 10. That right there, it helps tremendously. And teams like the Mavericks are going to struggle with defending that because you don't know who's going to shoot the ball. That's special. That is. I like games like this because sometimes your 50-point shooter or 50-point scorer, rather, they could lose the game because everybody else is not contributing in some effect on the team. And those are only the buckets that were scored. That doesn't put into play the rebounding, the steals, the defense that comes in here. Clutch play when it matters is what you saw here tonight. So big props to the Celtics tonight.
Nick, this is where I have to defend Jason Tatum. He did not have the best box score tonight, and he has caught the most flack, the most scrutinized player in all of basketball because he is not putting up the numbers that Luka Doncic is putting up. But he knows that the Celtics are more than just the Jason Tatum and the boys. All right.
That's why this is different this postseason. That's why it's different. You can see it.
He has taken a role where winning the banner is more than him putting up good numbers in the finals.
More than his box score. And he is deferring. He's doing all the little things. I don't know if you've seen the passing that Tatum is putting up right now.
Yep.
He's throwing footballs through the court. He is throwing dimes to the corners, hitting open shooters, and they're hitting wide open shots because of it, drawing attention and hitting passers. And he's getting scrutinized out of control. And that's why I'm here to defend him right now, because he's doing amazing rebounding. He's playing great defense, and he's passing the ball very
team
well.
Basketball. Team basketball 101.
He's playing team basketball. There's no I in team. Jason Tatum understands that. He's going to get scrutinized to hell about putting up 16 points or whatever he had. He didn't have the most points tonight. They won by 20-plus points. They won game one of the finals. The national media needs to relax on Jason Tatum.
Just don't listen to him. You can listen to us, folks. Don't listen to them.
And he's been awesome.
You can listen to
the
us.
The national media doesn't matter. Boston Sports Talk.
Tell Stephen A. Smith to go fly a kite.
Yep. And you know what? We're the real fans who are actually watching. If the Dallas Mavericks came out tonight and had a great game, we'd tell them they had a great game. But that's just real Boston sports fans talking about Boston sports. And you know what? In this case, we had a great game. And our guys played great all around, left and right and backwards.
Speaking of the Mavericks, did anything stand out to you guys about anything here from tonight? We all know the big story coming into here was, look for Luka, Luka this, Luka that, he's a star, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, the whole Kyrie Irving nonsense coming into here. Any thoughts on that whole experience throughout the game?
The Celtics held Kyrie Irving to 12 points.
Yeah.
Before this game, they interviewed Drew Holiday, who, of course, is going to be one of the guys guarding Kyrie Irving. That's one-on-one. Yeah. Before the game, Drew Holiday came out and said, and one of the reporters asked, how are you going to guard Kyrie Irving? Drew Holiday goes, a prayer. That boy's been praying because he came out and Kyrie Irving only had 12 points. Can we attest that to the defense? Absolutely. Can we also attest that to the fans? Absolutely.
He threw it out of bounds, dribbled it off his foot out of Kyrie Irving.
You don't see
but Doris Burke has to make sure she puts her 2 cents into making sure she sells Kyrie's shoes on the play as well, too.
I'm sick of her.
She actually hasn't been that bad this series. There was a lot of criticism coming in. I haven't had any issues with the announcing crew from a national level, and sometimes we do. I haven't had any problems with it from that.
No, and shouts out to her, too, for being the first women announcer in the national
to do an NBA Finals
game. So shouts out to Doris Burke for that. That's big for the for the women and everything else.
It only gets bad.
NBA coming up and everything else. That's great. Good for her.
It only gets bad in Philadelphia.
If you were playing Philly, then it would be
then it gets bad.
Nastiness. I was going to say, too, myself going into the game with the Kyrie, I actually think the fans didn't give Kyrie really the attention that he thrives on, which I think was good. Because, again, we need to put this behind ourselves. We just do. If you want, your eye is on the prize. Kyrie is a story piece. But the real end goal here for the team is to win the whole thing. So fans can do what they want to and everything from it. But at the end of the day, it matters more to make sure you get the victories on the court. So I want to remind some of the fans that want to go, hey, I'll be honest with you guys. Kyrie is one of the most hated, and I hate that word, players that I've ever seen play for the city of Boston. But you know what? I'm not giving him the attention. I'm forgetting it. I'm forgetting about it because I don't care anymore. I just don't. I care more about the team.
And we were talking about this during the game. It's one of those things where I'm okay with them booing him as long as it's respectful. We have to be respectful to this guy because he's turned a new leaf. That's my take. He's turned a new leaf. He's grown. He's matured. Do I still not like him for what he did for this team and what he did to this team? 100%. I think what he did to this team was incredibly disrespectful. I think what he has done on the Nets was incredibly disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. You name off all the disrespectful things, including burning sage in the TD Garden. I think that's all bad. As long as we keep it mature, and as long as we keep our head on our shoulders, I think the booing and everything else is okay.
And I think this story of the Brown Tatum Celtics goes back to 2017. They make the Eastern Conference Finals with Irving getting hurt. Kyrie Irving is the first chapter of this story. You know, they choked not once, not twice. They choked 3 times. You know, there was one year in the middle where they were all hurt and they played the Nets in the second round or something. And they got gentlemen swept. It was the first round. But this is all one story. Irving is one chapter of it, but he's not the main story. The story is the development of a core of Tatum and Brown and the Boston Celtics building within, trading players to come in, and creating an amazing team. This team is amazing. They're going to win the championship. I think they have it in 5, but it might be 4 after tonight.
We got to go through our spotlight players of the game. This may be different for all 3 of us on who we go through.
I think it is going to be different.
And then we have to throw somebody into the doghouse. We just do, whether we like it or not. Let's go with Brendan first. I'm going to ask you, who is the spotlight player of the, we're going to call this something new. We're going to say it's the Bay State Sports Face the Facts MVP of the night. Who is it for you, Brendan?
That's awesome. Mine is Jason Tatum.
Ooh,
now, I know what you guys might say, but I have Jason Tatum as the spotlight, the MVP, the BSP Face the Facts MVP of this game. I think the passing was electric, which a lot of people won't look at. I think the defense was phenomenal, lockdown. But the biggest thing was the rebounds, which a lot of people aren't going to look at. A lot of people don't look at rebounds these days. But as a basketball coach, as a player, rebounds are extremely important. It gives you second chance opportunities. It secures your offensive possession. Not a lot of people are looking at the rebounds in the box score. JT had 12 rebounds as a small forward.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal. He was out physicaling everybody. He's my MVP of this game.
With Kristaps Porzingis coming off an injury, who you're expecting to be the rebound guy of the night,
or Horford, or your other center, JT was terrific. I loved him in this game.
All right, Pat, it's your turn.
My spotlight of the game, I'm going Drew Holiday. I mean, again, you look at the numbers from this night, and did anyone have a really spectacular night? Not really, but did Drew Holiday do what Drew Holiday does all night long? Yeah. Guy had 12 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. That's kind of a game changer. We talked about Marcus Smart earlier, chucking up threes and everything else. It's just night and day difference, because Drew Holiday, night in and night out, unless they need him to be that guy, he's going to do what Drew Holiday needs to do. Drew Holiday came out tonight and did what he needed to do. He locked down Kyrie Irving. He said his prayers. He locked down Kyrie Irving. He did his thing. And I think Drew Holiday is my guy of the night.
I like your choice right there. I'm going a different route as well. I think this is great. We have 3 different spotlight MVPs tonight. It's kind of like an obvious choice, but I also have another one that's in the back burner that actually got us to a victory here tonight. Could have, with some hype. I'm going to go first with, of course, Porzingis. There was such a mystery on what was going to happen with him being so rusty coming back to play. And he exceeded every expectation in the book for me. Everything. He was prepared. He was focused. He was determined. He attacked from the start of the game. Then you saw the buckets. You saw all the buckets getting shot, whether it was from the 3-point range or just from the field. Knocked those shots down. His first points, though, His first points in the game happen to be from the line, believe it or not. So even that could be a little shaky for somebody who hasn't played in as long as he has. I didn't see anything tonight that gave me concern about any injury from him. I see him being the difference maker, the X factor in this series. Truthfully, I do. He exceeded every check mark was checked for me. Outstanding performance on both sides of the court, offense and defense. But the other one I want to give a little shout out to actually comes from our former great from the Patriots, our legend, Tom Brady. And Tom Brady is being on this because he did the hype video before this whole thing came about from this series. And I'm giving a shout out to TB12 for it because it was electric. It was perfect. Awesome. It was GOAT-esque. Thank you, Tom. Yeah. You are a legend. We love you in Boston. Thank you for doing that for the Celtics.
Oh, definitely. Actually, I wanted to run through a wall.
For him. Yes, when I saw that. Yep. And the last thing I just want to say, just class act job from the Celtics tonight on the special jersey pin or something that they did in honor of a legend from 1986 who passed away, Bill Walton. So the Celtics did that right tonight with the nice little colorful Bill Walton design that was put together. Great job. Just great job across the board from it. Doggy house. Doghouse. The JJ house, as he's barking.
JJ.
He's dreaming.
I heard him barking.
He's dreaming of us. Yeah, he's actually dreaming, as a matter of fact. He's dreaming of a Celtics championship.
Atta boy.
Who's going in JJ's house tonight?
All right, so I got to put an asterisk on this because this guy's job wasn't to score the ball as much as people look at the box score. He played 15 minutes. He had 0 points. His job in an NBA Finals game is not to score. Maybe if they're in a drought and they need scoring out of him. But I had Peyton Pritchard, and he played 15 minutes. He has 0 points, but it's an asterisk because he made the right plays. He had good defense, and he knew we weren't going to win this game because Peyton Pritchard had 15 points. We were going to win this game off of defensive intensity and good rebounding, and that's how they won this game. They had 100-something points. It was not a 120 blowout, whatever. They held the Mavericks to under 90. All right. Putting pressure on the opposing guards. Conditioning is Luka Doncic's biggest weakness. He is out of shape. He can shoot the ball pretty well, but if he has to run, he's going to get tired. And Peyton Pritchard did a good job tonight. I put asterisks on the doghouse. I don't really want to put him in the doghouse, but we have to have a nominee, so I'm sorry, Pritch, but I had you there tonight as an asterisk. They did awesome. The team was terrific. I shouldn't have a single person in the doghouse.
Everything is awesome.
But,
that's Brendan. Pat.
My doghouse is going to be controversial, and people are going to be mad at me for this one, but that's okay. My doghouse, and along with what Brennan said, there should be no one in a doghouse because this team played very, very well tonight. And I'm calling out the leading scorer of tonight, Jaylen Brown.
The free throws.
The guy, they're free. They're free, man. God. Why can you not hit free throws?
You don't like free things. That's why.
I don't get it. I don't understand why you can't hit free throws.
He needs to put his ATM card in the bucket.
Dude, he's the best player on the team right now.
If he could take that shot running from anywhere in the court, and it was like a weird fadeaway
step
shot,
back free throw,
he would hit it. But when he's on the line, he can't hit a goddamn free. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. So, Jaylen Brown, the reason why you're my doghouse tonight, you played a fantastic game. You had a couple of huge blocks, amazing blocks, very, very impressive blocks. But why can you not hit a free throw? I really don't get it. Because to be honest with you, if this game was closer and those free throws really mattered more than they did this game, which at some point in this series, those free throws are going to matter. This Mavericks team is not going to go away. They're a good team. You have Luka, who scored, 30 points tonight? You had Kyrie, who is capable of scoring 30 points. He only scored 12 tonight, but he's capable of it. This team is going to show up at some point. You need to hit your free throws. I don't care what it takes. Go to the gym, stay there for the entire night. Practice free throws.
Lock in.
Full Kobe method. Sit there until you hit 1,000 of them in a row. Hit your free throw. That's my doghouse.
They're going to pump him up now. He's going to score over 30 points now in game 2. I'm telling you that right now. Just because you said what you had to do. I have to be frank. I know I'm Nick, but we're going to be frank here for a minute. I'm surprised you both had the Celtics and players in the doghouse. Remember, all I say on this whole thing is, who do you think is going in the doghouse? It doesn't have to be a Celtic. It could be the peanut. It could be the freaking peanut vendor up in 311 in the upper deck. It could be the peanut vendor not throwing the peanuts to the right person in their seat and dropping the bag. It could be that.
In that case,
it could be the guy that's mopping up the floor.
God,
and actually,
that's why he goes last.
I played baseball with him.
That's why he goes last.
I played baseball with him. Shout out to Scotty Cotter. He does a great job with the Celtics. But that's not where I'm going. It has nothing to do with the Celtics here tonight, gents. It has to do with Kyrie Irving, guys. Kyrie Irving fell on his face tonight at the Garden, and I loved every goddamn minute of it. Loved it. Do we even want to repeat his numbers? Because that was the biggest laugh for me tonight on what he put up. I think it deserves to be repeated. So he played 36 minutes. He was 6 for 19 and shot 31.6% in this game. He finished the game with a minus 19. Minus 19.
Oh, yeah.
That is wonderful.
Oh,
wonderful.
Yeah. Crowd destroyed him.
And can I add on to this?
Crowd.
Can I add on
The world
to
is flat, Kyrie. The world is flat.
Game against the Celtics that he's played that he's lost.
Yeah, since he stomped on the logo.
Every minute of it. And here's the one that was preaching, and here's the guy that was preaching, talking about the whole thing, that you don't want to get anything amped up about it. Well, when you're in the doghouse, you're in the doghouse, and he deserves every minute in that doghouse right now. So thank you, Kyrie. Do it again, my friend. Would love to see it.
Well,
any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, I will take this doghouse rules into the game too. I had no idea. I had asterisks. I had everyone was awesome. And all of a sudden, you can pick the Mavericks. Okay.
Yeah. You can.
I'll remember that then.
You could have picked the ESPN clowns who didn't pick the Celtics before the game. Stephen A. Smith picked the Mavericks. So didn't Michael Wilbon.
No way Smith picked the Mavs.
Smith picked the Mavericks. They're a bunch of clowns. Can
I change my answer to
No, you can't. We don't edit this. This is live. This is live here. You need to be on your game.
I'm going to put Felger in the doghouse tomorrow.
He should be. So should Maz.
That's it for me.
My final thoughts are, if the Celtics keep this intensity and look, you're not stopping Luka. The guy's a generational talent, and you can't take that away from him. You can't argue he's not.
I don't know about that, Pat. I'm going to disagree on it. I look at him from an outsider, and I look at somebody who is just a wide load on the court.
Fat. Yeah.
I didn't say he's fat. I didn't say that. I said he's a wide load.
Who scored 30 points?
And I also heard that he smells, too. And that might be why he gets all those shots in play, because no one wants to go near him.
James Harden.
You didn't hear it from me.
He's James Harden 2.0. That's what he is. Luka
I'd
is
step
James
away from
Harden
him.
2.0.
I just look at him and I'm scared. I'd run away and hide.
I genuinely think Luka is more than what people are seeing. I mean, his passing ability is unbelievable. He's a fantastic player. I'm not going to take that away from him, and I will argue that till the day this podcast is over. But what I will say is let him get his points and let everyone else on this team have almost 10, if not a little over 10. If we can keep that up, Luka, you have a field day. You score 50 points. That's fine because we're going to score 50 points on you, and it's not going to matter. Because you know who doesn't play defense? Luka Doncic. That's his kryptonite is defense. So, yes, as much of a generational talent as he is, as good as his passing is, as good as his defense. Nope, not that. As good as his scoring is, as good of an offensive player he is, the more we take advantage of that fact that him, Kyrie, they're the greatest backcourt in basketball, Van Gundy, at you. They don't play defense.
He hates the Celtics.
Of course he does, because we beat him all the time. You can't play. That's not the game nowadays. You got to be a two-way player. You got to be an all-around guy. You got to be that guy that does the right things. And Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and what Missoula and even Ime and Brad taught these guys is you can't just be a one-dimensional player. You can't sit back and hope for the best. You have to be a two-dimensional player. Luka's not that. So I agree with you, but his passing, his offense, generational.
I'm looking forward to Sunday. I don't understand. Well, I do. It's TV ratings and all that. But we have to wait now till Sunday at 8 o'clock for the next game. So Friday, Saturday, and then not till end the weekend till Sunday. It's just the way it is. Write your letters to ABC, the league, all that jazz. But we will be with you again to talk about that game. In the meantime, we hope everybody has a great rest of your night. Don't care about the Red Sox. It's all Celtics right now. So.
They did win 14-3.
I don't give a crap. Good for them.
Boston sports, Nick. Come on now.
Good for them.
It was the White Sox.
Bring back faith.
I want to lastly thank our viewers. I was watching our view count up here, and we were across the board, nice and steady as well, too. So thank you to the loyal listeners and watchers out there. We can't do it without you. We will be back with you soon. Once again, your final score tonight was the Celtics 107, the Mavs 89, as the Celtics take game 1 in the NBA Finals. That sounds wonderful. Have a good night, everybody.